Hi everyone, welcome to the first video of the last section in this series on social media. We're going to talk about how to use social media to your advantage and, importantly, how to prevent social media from harming you during your job application process. The first thing I want to talk about is LinkedIn. LinkedIn is if you don't already know, is a professional networking website. Now, some of you may be thinking, if you're familiar with it but you don't have an account yet, oh, I'm too young, I don't have enough experience, and so I don't have an account. No, everyone should have an account because that's how people find you, and perhaps more importantly, that's how you find other people. Networking is an extremely important part of finding a job, and even beyond just finding a job, just getting to know what other kinds of professions and professionals are out there. And so you can network, set up meetings, and just see what's going on in the business world. So I highly recommend signing up for LinkedIn. Fill out the information, put in as much as you can. You can draw a lot of the content from your resume and cover letter, and this is more good practice on how to write this kind of information. Put up the most professional picture you have and get started. You can really easily search for people in the industry that you're in or that you want to be in and get to know them, see the kinds of things that they're writing and doing and how their LinkedIn profiles look. And this will often be a way that future employers will try to find you. The next thing we're going to talk about is all other social media, right? So Facebook, Kakao Talk, or any number of other, I don't know what the kids are using these days, but any number of other social networking sites. The important thing to remember when talking about these kinds of social networking sites is that employers do look. They actually do go on Facebook. They search your name and they try to find you to see what they see because it gives a good indication as to the kind of person that you are and maybe how you might make the company look if you work for them. So if you're going to use your real name on Facebook, then that's totally fine. But make sure that if you have any sensitive information on there that you might not want a future employer to see, review your security settings. Absolutely lock down anything that you don't want any potential employers to see. Now, I highly recommend just not putting any content that you wouldn't want an employer to see on those kinds of websites, because let's say you get to work and your boss wants to friend you on Facebook. Well, now they might have access to your information, or they might be curious as to why they don't. And the internet being what it is, it's just a good idea to not put anything on the internet that you wouldn't want to have published as a headline on the New York Times or the Korea Times or something like that. So just don't put anything on the internet that you don't want, that you would be uncomfortable if it were publicized. Now, that's the basics of how to use social media to your advantage through LinkedIn and how to avoid having it hurt you through controlling the content that you post. Now, a little bit more advanced topic is blogging and producing content and developing a kind of professional identity. For those of you just starting off in your careers, this may not be as important or relevant, but if you're trying to get established in a certain field, then you may want to start commenting on it, blogging about it. So for instance, if you wanted to work in sports marketing, start a sports marketing blog. It doesn't matter if no one reads it. Number one, people will actually read it. Somehow, by some crazy twist of fate, some number of people are going to find your blog and they are going to read it. And if you're really good, your blog may actually attract more readers and give you some credibility in a particular industry and maybe even allow you to attract a little bit of ad revenue while you're looking for a job, which is always nice. But importantly, you can direct potential employers to the blog so they can actually get a really good sense of who you are and your ideas about the industry. And this is a really great way to show them your writing skills, your analysis skills, and your interest without taking up space in a resume or cover letter. Then you can even take this a little step further and on Facebook or on Kakao Talk or wherever, publicly share articles and different things that either you wrote or that you found interesting with some commentary, if that kind of thing will be available. It just goes to show potential employers that you take your online presence seriously, that you're dedicated to the industry which you're trying to get into, and that you're pretty smart. So basically, if you want to get into an industry, you're probably reading and writing about it already, so just use it to your advantage. All right, so that's the basics of social networking. Probably nothing too surprising, but remember, get an account on LinkedIn, lock down your sensitive information, and try to establish a positive presence for yourself in the industry that you want to work in. All right, good luck.